Now we are starting section 3, 3.1 expansion of ideas. In expansion of an idea involves explanation of a proverb or a thought in a way that portrays its true essence. Most proverbs are symbolic. While explaining them, we need to provide their exact meaning along with an appropriate context. We can also use relevant examples, similar proverbs, and real life incidents to further simplify an idea. This chapter focuses on the explaining how to expand an idea. It also provides suggestions on maintaining the flow and format while expanding an idea. Let's see its icebreakers. Discuss with your partner the different ideas connoted. Connoted here means express or state indirectly by the word season. Now we have to find different ideas which are associated with season. Here the word season could mean the different weather patterns that occur due to the changes in the position of the earth in regard to the sun. That is our first option A. Now B. The word season could also mean giving more flavor by adding when it is used in the context of food. For example, if we have to take some example, season the dish with black pepper and oregano. Now for C, the word season could also refer to the period when a sport is played, that is football season, cricket season, and so many seasons. If we have to consider another next idea regarding season, then we can also mention that the word season could also mean one set of episodes of a television series. It is also a season. Select a season of your choice and give the following details. Here we have 4 options regarding any season. Time of the season, we have to mention here one season, characteristic of this particular season, crop, festival, etc. Then third point is features or changes. Now we have to mention here climate, weather, temperature, etc. Then the last point is advantages and disadvantages of this particular season. Here for expanding this idea, if we consider winter season, okay, in time of the year we have to mention here winter season. Now in winter season it begins from the end of November and stays till the end of February. Then second point, characteristic. In winter season, the crops that are grown in the winter season in India are known as Rabi crops. These crops are sown in the month of October and harvested in spring. Some major crops in this season is wheat, barley, sesame, gram, and mustard are some examples of crops grown in the winter season. The festivals that are celebrated on a large scale in India during the winter season are Diwali, Christmas, Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Lohri, Republic Day, etc. Point C, features or changes. During the winter season, the weather in India changes from the hot and humid to the cool and dry season or dry weather. The average winter temperature ranges between 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, with the coldest months being December and January. Now point D, advantages and disadvantages. The winter season in all parts of India except in north is a respite from the scorching October heat. It is the most awaited season apart from monsoon, as it helps people enjoy the outdoors without having to worry about getting a heat stroke. However, the winter in the north of India can be quite extreme. With thick fog, snowfall, hailstorms, etc., survival becomes quite different at times in north of India. Next icebreaker question is proverbs associated with the word season. For example, make hay while the sun shines. Now we have to find two more proverbs which associated with the word season. For A, we can say that no winter lasts forever, no springs skip its turn. It is a proverb which is indicated to season. Then for B, we can also mention that turn your face towards the sun and the shadows fall behind you. It is a proverb. It is a proverb which is indicated to the season. Here we have another 4 questions. Discuss with your partner on the following topics. Express your views and opinions in favor and against the topic. Here we have 4 topics we have to discuss with our partner, and we have our own views in favor and against the topic. Here we have 4 topics are sports essential in junior colleges? Are college council elections essential in junior colleges? Is cell phone the need of the times? Should the earn and learn concept be made mandatory for students? Here we have these 4 topics and we have to express our views regarding in favor and against the topic. Now I am mentioning you first topic, are sports essential in junior colleges? In favor of this particular topic, are sports essential in junior college? I claim that yes, sports keep the students healthy and active as well as develop a competitive spirit in them. If I want to speak against this topic, I claim that no, sports are not essential in junior colleges as they might lead the students to focus less on their studies. Here we can claim in favor and against this topic. Now these remaining 3 topics you have to make your own answer. Now come to this topic, expansion of idea. What is expansion of idea? Expansion of idea is to elaborate. Elaborate means work out in details an idea in a paragraph form. If we have to expand, if we have to make its definition, what is expansion of idea, we can tell that expansion of idea is to elaborate an idea in a paragraph form. Paragraph, a para is necessarily a series of connected sentences which develops one topic sentence. If we think about paragraph, a paragraph is necessary. It is very important, a series of connected sentences. In paragraph we have to connect many sentences which develop one topic sentence. In paragraph, if we connected many sentences, it develops one topic sentence. Then what is topic sentence? It is a subject or propositions or statement expressed in a sentence. A good topic sentence is brief and encapsulated. Encapsulated means here summarizes the central theme. In topic sentence we have to summarize the central theme, central idea of this particular topic. Ideally it is written in 3 parts: introductory para, core content and concluding para. If we have to expand any ideas or any theme, it is depend on these 3 parts. First one is introductory para, second one is core content, and last one is concluding para. Now what is introductory para? A good paragraph is always associated with a topic sentence, either at the beginning, in the middle or at the end. A good paragraph is always associated with the beginning, in the middle or at the end. It is associated with this particular topic sentence. The symbolism, here symbolism means the use of objects or language as symbols to represent an idea or emotion by giving them meanings that are different from what they otherwise mean. That is symbolism. The symbolism or the idea should be clearly understood. Whatever symbols and idea we are using there, it should be clearly understood to this reader. The literal, symbolic or metaphoric meanings need to be given. If we have to expand anything or any idea, we have to need to mention some symbols, metaphorical meanings and literal ideas to this given theme. To expand an idea, the focus should be on words and expression of thoughts to put forth the hidden meaning or deeper thoughts behind the given idea. In short, the given idea needs to be well evaluated. Here, well evaluated means carefully thought about and interpreted accordingly. Interpreted, explain the intended meaning. In introductory para, we have to carefully thought about this particular idea or theme, and we have to interpret means what is the particular purpose to write this para. We have to interpret this in introductory para. Now second point is core content. While elaborating various aspects of the idea, remember that the following points need to be taken into consideration. If we have to express any idea or any aspect of this particular idea, we have to elaborate or we have to think about this some particular points. Explore perspective. Perspective here means situation. The particular situation we have to explore. Give instances and anecdotes. Anecdotes means short account of an accident. We have to mention some incident there. Experiences or even personal experience. We have to mention our experience or even our personal experiences. There should be unity and clarity of thoughts. Whatever we are going to mention there, we are going to write there, our thoughts should be clear and there should be unity. Maintain coherence. Coherence means quality of being meaningful and unified. Maintain coherence and a logical link between two distinct points between the sentences. Between 2 points we have to use some logical links. For this we have to use some discourse markers, conjunction and conjunctive phrases can be used. For connecting these two ideas, 2 points, 2 sentences, we can use their discourse markers, conjunction and conjunctive phrase. Each para or point should support the central idea, but proportion of space should be kept in mind. Whatever we are going to mention there, right there, each para and each line should support this central idea. Here, proportion of space means more important ideas, more space, less important idea, less space. Proportion of emphasis is an important aspect. It simply means keeping the principal subject in place to prominence. Prominence important throughout the para. In this point, we have to emphasize, we have to focus on an important aspect. Avoid too many ideas. We have to avoid many ideas. Remember, this is the most creative part to demonstrate, showcase or display your language skill. It is this particular topic which we can display our language skill, how we have command on this particular language. Last and important factor, point of expansion of idea is conclusion. At the end, we need to sum up suitably with strong and relevant connection with the subject. For conclusion or for end, we need to sum up the strong and relevant point. In this point, we have to use A proverb is appropriate at the end with a similar meaning sentence given in the topic sentence. In concluding line, we have to use any similar meaning sentence or any proverbs which can indicate this situation. Here, one example is given. The given one is tit for tat. You may sum up using another similar one, reap as you sow. Here, for concluding line or concluding sentence, we can give any messages. This sentence or this summing up, this end should be very strong and it is relevant to our particular topic. Here, key point for expansion of idea. Your 4 key points are given. Key points, then literal meanings, explanation of the different aspect of the topic sentence, and last one is conclusion. In that type, we have to mention or we have to expand our expansion of idea. Here one example is given for you. Travel broadens the mind. Here this is a particular idea. We have to expand this idea into our 3 aspects or 3 parts of expansion of idea. First one is introductory para, second one is core content, and last one is concluding paragraph. Discourse markers. The phrase discourse markers reveals its own meaning. Discourse means conversation, narration, exchange. Words which connect, mark, give directions to the communication are discourse marker. Here definition of discourse markers is: discourse markers are words or phrase like anyway, right, okay, as I say, to begin with, used to connect, organize and manage what we say or write, to express attitude. To express our attitude, we use some discourse markers. These are like anyway, right, okay, as I say, to begin with, used to connect, organize and manage. These are some discourse markers which connect to sentences. When we speak or write, we constantly use discourse markers. In fact, we are not even aware that we use them or when we use them. Whenever we speak or write, we constantly use some discourse markers. While using these discourse markers, we were not aware when we have to use them and we have to avoid them. Words like nevertheless, further, furthermore, similarly, so, therefore, to be fair, by the time, thus, etc. are examples of discourse markers that we use in our everyday conversation. These are some words which we use in our everyday conversation. Why do you think they are used? It is simple thing. Why do we think why they are used? What is their function in speech or writing? The answer would be that firstly they link the narrative or conversation. Discourse markers links the narrative and conversation point or section. Secondly, they explain, emphasize and connect what you are saying. These discourse markers, they connect what we are saying. By these, they bring clarity to the communication and thereby make it effective by adding aesthetic value. While we use these discourse markers, it makes our communication very effectively and it added some aesthetic value. In brainstorming, we have 5 ideas which we have to expand by using our 3 points, that are introductory paragraph, second one is core paragraph, and last one is concluding line or concluding paragraph. Last question of this brainstorming is: complete the tabular columns to specify the does and don'ts associated with expansion of idea. Here we have these columns, tabular columns. First one is shown does and second one is shown don'ts. In does, begin impressively, and do not go off track. In does, we can say that begin impressively and write a title. In does, second point we can mention there, clearly explain the symbolism of the proverb. In third does, we can write that ensure that each paragraph has a topic sentence. And for point number 4, we can write there include anecdotes, examples and experiences, as well as maintain unity and clarity of thoughts. In don't, we can write there do not go off track. In second point, we can write there do not be ambiguous while explaining the meaning of the proverb. Ambiguous means complex. Then in third point, we can write there don't include too many ideas in one paragraph. In last point, we can write there don't forget to maintain coherence and logical links between the sentences with the help of discourse markers, conjunctions and conjunctive phrases. Now we have finished expansion of ideas. If you have any problem, then you can call me. Thank you.